Today we bring you three stories from the mind of the machine, each one hidden inside a forgotten device. These aren't just stories, they're echoes from the machines we left behind. And now that you've pressed play, they're ready to be heard again. Found the tape at a flea market off Highway 9. One of those roadside setups where vendors lay out their life on a tarp and call it a collection. The guy running the table looked like he hadn't blinked since '93, wearing a I survived Y2K sweatshirt, chain smoking like the air wasn't worth saving. Everything smelled like attic rot, cracked plastic, sun-faded manuals, and dusty rotary phones. That's when I saw it. A single VHS tape. No case, just black plastic, scuffed around the edges. A strip of masking tape on the front, in red Sharpie. Please don't rewind. I asked what was on it. He just shrugged. You're holding it now, so it's yours. At home, I pulled my old VCR out of the garage. It was the kind with the fake wood grain faceplate and that satisfying mechanical clunk when you push the tape in. The power light flickered like it wasn't sure if it wanted to come back to life. The TV buzzed awake. I inserted the tape. No menu, no timestamp. It started playing immediately. The footage looked like it was from the '80s. A child's birthday party. A boy in a cone hat, candles on a Pac-Man cake, cheap streamers dropping from the ceiling, people clapping and sang, badly, off-key. Someone shouted, "Don't let the frosting hit the dog." It felt normal. The camera never moved. No pans, no zooms. It was like someone had just set it on the tripod and left it recording. The frame stayed static, but the longer I watched, the more wrong it felt. The people never blinked. Not once. Even the dog sitting in the background didn't move. The parents' smiles stretched too wide, like they were performing, like they weren't real. And then, near the end of the recording, the boy looked straight into the camera and whispered something I couldn't quite hear. So I rewound the tape. That's when I heard it. Not from the TV, from the hallway behind me. A click, like a door unlocking. Paused the tape, stared at the doorway. It was empty, but something felt different, like the shadows had shifted slightly. When I looked back at the screen, the tape was playing again, but this time, the scene had changed. Everyone was still, frozen in place. The mom held a fork midair. The dad stood motionless behind the cake. The boy stared straight into the camera, and this time, he spoke clearly.
Rewind it.
I ejected the tape, left it sitting on the table. That night, I woke up at 2 a.m. to a blue glow. The TV was on. The VCR was running. I hadn't touched either. On the screen was static, but behind the flickering white noise, something was forming. A silhouette, standing, breathing. It took a moment before I realized what I was looking at. It was my living room. My furniture. Me, asleep on the couch. On screen, I watched myself sit up and stare at the TV. And then, a second figure stepped into the frame. Tall, shadowed, wearing a birthday hat. I spun around. Nothing. The screen blinked to black. The tape ejected itself. The next morning, I took it outside and burned it. That should have been the end. But today a package arrived in the mail. No return address. No postage. Inside, a VHS tape. Same scuffed plastic. Same sticker. Same message. Please don't rewind. Only now, underneath, was my name and the date. Tomorrow. My uncle used to work IT at a failing electronics store in the late 90s. They were clearing out stock during their final weeks, tossing unsold junk in dumpsters, selling off mystery boxes for $5 a piece. He handed me one of those boxes. Inside was an old digital Polaroid camera. One of those early ones, from when digital still felt like a gamble. It was bulky, square, no LCD screen, just a lens, a shutter button, and a hatch for batteries. No branding, no model number, no serial code. And inside the box, beneath the bubble wrap, was a single floppy disk. Written in red Sharpie across the label were the words Polaroid.exe / do not run. I was 13, so, of course, I ran it. I booted up my family's Windows 98 machine and slid the disk in. No installer, no photos, just one black and white DOS interface. The screen blinked to life with one line of text. Review captures. I hit enter. It opened a list of file names, but instead of JPEGs or bitmap files, everything was labeled as .exe, each with a timestamp. The first one was dated that same afternoon. I hadn't even taken a photo yet. I clicked it. The screen turned black for a moment, then loaded a low-res image. It was my bedroom. Same furniture, same desk, same pile of laundry in the corner. But the angle was off. It was taken from the ceiling, looking down at me. As I sat on the floor, opening the camera box, I checked the next file. It showed me asleep. Same room, same pajamas. Camera angle this time was from inside the closet. I clicked another. It was the hallway at school. Me walking past the lockers. Next one. Brushing my teeth in the bathroom. Behind me. From the mirror. Pulled the batteries from the camera. Opened it up. No sign of any wireless chip. No internal storage. No second lenses. It was just a shell of old plastic and simple circuitry. No way it should have been able to take those photos. And definitely not from those angles. At night, I left the camera outside, shut the door, and locked it. At 3:41 a.m., the computer turned itself on. I sat up in bed and watched the monitor glow blue from across the room. On the screen, a new file had appeared. Doorway_3am.exe. I clicked it. A video loaded. No interface, no play button. It was a live feed. My front yard. From the middle of the lawn, the camera was back, facing my front door. Then a second video stream opened beside it. This one showed the inside of my house, the hallway. It flickered, static, low frame rate. But I saw movement, a shape standing just out of the frame. Then footsteps, slow, measured. I yanked the power cord out of the wall. The screen went dark. The next morning, I found the camera on my desk. I checked the floppy. The files were still there. But now, There was a new one. Doorway underscore 4am.exe. I haven't opened it yet. But sometimes, when the house is quiet, I swear I hear the shutter clicking behind the walls. I clean out houses for a living. Bank repossessions, estate clearances, death cases. You learn pretty quick not to ask questions. Most of the time, it's furniture and junk, sometimes antiques, sometimes rot. This house was different. It had that feeling like a hotel room someone just left. The calendar on the fridge still read 1992. Plastic still on the lampshades, mail stacked neatly by the door. No dust. And the power was still on. Upstairs, in the bedroom, I found a beige rotary phone on the nightstand. Next to it, a cassette-based Panasonic answering machine. The kind with the tiny reels that click and whir when they play. The message light was blinking. Somehow, after all these years, it was still working. I pressed play. Messages 1 through 16 were nothing unusual. Doctor's appointment, confirmations, a man asking if Alice was home. One lady called 3 times in the same voice, each message a little more anxious. The timestamps were all from the summer of '92. Then came message 17. No beep, just silence. Then a voice, low, whispering, scared. July 4th. Don't let it out again. If you hear it on the line, hang up. Burn this tape. I rewound it, played it again. This time, more came through. It hears through the tones. It listens when it rings. Don't answer on the second ring. Don't. No. Abrupt. Like someone yanked the cord mid-sentence. Then the machine clicked. The message light blinked again. Message 18. But the tape hadn't moved. And then it started playing automatically. The voice was familiar. The voice was mine. You shouldn't be here. It's in the house now. It was never about Alice. Burn the tape. Burn the... I ripped the power cord from the wall, but it kept playing. No tape, no power, still playing. I dumped the whole machine in a contractor bag, tossed it in a landfill that night. I didn't sleep. The next morning, my cell phone rang. Unknown number. 2 rings. Then silence. A voicemail appeared. No transcript. No message icon. Just a timestamp. Message 17. If you're still here, like the video. Subscribe for more. Check the screen for more stories. And if you found something strange on an old device, send it in. We're always listening.